All right, look, the jobs number may have disappointed some in terms of the aggregate number of jobs added. But you can't dispute, can you, the fact that now we're back in terms of unemployment at levels seen, Ron, not since before the pandemic.
Yeah, and Tyler, we're seeing for the second month in a row a wide divergence between the household survey, which asked people individually whether or not they're working. We saw more than 600,000 jobs created in that survey, bringing that unemployment rate down to 3.9%. And the payroll survey, which is becoming, I think, increasingly reliable. There have been recent reports suggesting that fewer and fewer companies are responding to the survey. And of those that are, fewer than 50% are turning their reports in on time. So it's skewing that non-farm payroll data, and it keeps getting revised upwards. So I think the labor market's clearly, I wouldn't say, I'll say on fire to a certain extent, but it's quite strong. And individuals are at a record pace starting their own companies and businesses as well. So I think it was a stronger report than initially read.
And yet, Ron, you are worried about the possibility of a correction in stocks in 2022. Yeah. Why?
Well, I don't think the Fed needs to go as fast as everyone suggests. I think inflation is going to come down as supply chain disruptions ease. I don't think that we're in a runaway inflation situation. I'm, in the minority in that group. And I think that the Federal Reserve could really take its time and not overdo by not only unwinding QE, but raising rates and shrinking the balance sheet all this year. I think a more measured approach would be appropriate, given that we don't know how Omicron shakes out entirely. And again, I think the supply chain issues normalize rather dramatically this year and take some of the heat off inflation.
On the point you just made about the Fed not needing to be in a hurry, aren't the dynamics different this time around? The unemployment rate's already at 3.9%. Wages are growing 5% on the year. It doesn't feel like this is an environment where they're moving cautiously, but an environment that they still need to catch up to.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Mike agrees with me or not, but I see inflation coming down, not going up, and I don't think as
even
the
if
economy
it does.
normalizes. Well, even if it does, I don't know that they're that far behind the curve. I mean, we had 3.5% on inflation pre-pandemic. And, again, absent supply disruptions, we had very little inflation. And there are some studies, again, that suggest in a post-pandemic environment that things normalize rather quickly, which I think that's something the Fed should consider.